Before I forget, Master mentioned you should take more medicine once you wake up. Whoops!
Kale, what's the matter? Were you trying to retrieve the medicine? As I've already told you, you must be careful with these. I'll get it for you once I am finished here.
Sorry, Master.
Now, the guide to Avidia Forest's edible fungi is clearly posted on our bulletin board, but if Farbode forgets which mushrooms to avoid one more time, I'll have no choice but to leave the guide somewhere a little more visible. Like right smack on his forehead so others can remind him to be careful.
Right? This is the second time he's come down with food poisoning this month. I'll be sure to give him a good talking to.
Yes, please do. If, on the off chance, Farbode simply enjoys having little imaginary fairies dance before his eyes, then we'll just let him be. But the next time he requires any of our medicine, be sure to charge him accordingly. So, how are you doing? Feeling better?
Oh, this is my master, Forest Watcher Tighnari. He is chief officer over all the rangers here in Gandharvaville.
I already informed Paimon about the reason you fell unconscious earlier. But now that you're awake, let me explain it for you as well. It is common practice for Sumeru scholars of certain darshans to dedicate themselves to training in meditation in isolated areas, particularly the nearby forests. While meditating, they use a certain incense known as Spirit Borneal to help calm their minds as they enter a state of deep rumination. In hopes of asking directions, you two followed a scholar named Haypasia into her cave. The incense you smelled inside was the Spirit Borneal I just mentioned. That incense typically has no effect on most people, but for a very select few, it can have profound effects on one's cognition, as you experienced firsthand. Does that make sense? Very good. Now, answer me this. Did you feel anything after passing out? Say, any out-of-body experiences, or did you see anything while unconscious? Kale, let the others know to stop bringing their patrol logs here for now.
Huh? Why?
Because these two will be staying here for the next few days. They can have my room, and I'll bunk with Amir. Now get a move on, and be sure to do as I've said.
Yes, Master Tighnari.
Wait, hold on a second. Can you tell us what's going on?
Sure. Let me fill you in. I originally planned to send you on your way once you finished your medicine. However, it appears now that you should stay a while longer in Gandharvaville for further observation while you recuperate.
Further observation?
No need to be hasty. As long as you have the capacity to judge between right and wrong, I promise that you'll understand the gravity of the situation once I explain everything to you. Based on what you saw after smelling the incense and losing consciousness, we can conclude that you experienced a powerful hallucination, which suggests your mental state is not in the best of shape. If you're skeptical, have a whiff of this.
Oh, are you okay?
You're experiencing a similar sensation as when you passed out, aren't you? So even though your condition is stable as of now, if I were to haphazardly let you leave, it's highly likely that you'd suddenly pass out again somewhere else. The rainforest is home to many fierce animals and hazardous areas. If something were to happen to you again, I'm afraid you might not be so lucky. For now, I suggest you continue taking your medicine each day and avoid wandering off on your own, at least until you stop having adverse reactions to this kind of smell. Okay? Good. Now, continue resting while I fire up another bowl of medicine for you. All right, next let's see your right hand. Not bad. But please remember that you still need to be careful, understand?
Yes, I will. By the way, Master, I still haven't received the patrol route for today.
Look, Kale, today's patrol will be a long one. so you won't be coming along this time. Besides, there's a chance we may encounter... well, you understand.
But I have a vision too! Am I useless to everyone now?
Don't talk like that, Kale. This is not something you need to be worrying about right now. Ah, there you are. Feeling any better?
Yeah, since we'll be staying here for now, we thought we might as well try lending a hand around here.
Seems you're not the type to sit back and take it easy for a while, huh? In that case, perhaps Kale could take you two for a patrol south of Gandharvaville for the day. And if you're feeling up to it, you can be responsible for cleaning the Statue of the Seven.
Tighnari, we're ready to head out.
Got it! I'll be right there! Alright, we'll be heading into the forest now. I'll leave any further details to Kale.
Yes, you can count on me.
Ah, it's you two. I was just about to go look for you.
Huh? Tighnari, what are you doing here? Where's Kale?
I came to check on Kale's condition. To put it simply, she's not well.
You mean she's sick? How could she be... Oh, wait a minute. Could it be because of what Paimon did yesterday?
No need to worry. Something as small as you could never harm her. This sickness is something that Kale has been dealing with for some time. Kale has been more excited than usual since you two arrived. A little too much so, to be honest. She hasn't remembered to take care of herself. I suppose it's understandable, though. She hasn't been around anyone she considered a friend for some time now. It must have been refreshing for her to have you two here.
So, Tighnari, what's really wrong with Kale?
Let's take this conversation elsewhere. Kale just fell asleep after taking her medicine. She needs some peace and quiet. All right, let's continue our conversation here, shall we? To be honest, I hadn't realized you're that honorary knight from Mondstadt until Kale told me just now. I've also heard all about your deeds in Liyue and Inazuma. So just to clarify, what I'm about to tell you about Kale is not because of who you are or your past feats. Instead, I am going to tell you because, well, because Kale asked me to. And honestly speaking, I was against Kale revealing her past to you. But she insisted, saying you two treated her with sincerity and as a friend. So now she wishes to reciprocate the gesture.
So, Tighnari, what exactly is wrong with Kale? You said this is something she's been dealing with for some time. Just how serious is it?
Right. Ever since she was a child, she's been afflicted with a disease called Elazar.
Elazar?
Yes. It's a disease unique to the lands of Sumeru. It is characterized by dark and hardened scales that form on the body. At first, the afflicted may only feel mild numbness on affected areas of the skin. However, as the disease progresses, one may begin feeling fatigued and even experience peripheral paresthesia. In its final stages, the disease strips a person of the ability to control their own body, and they effectively become completely immobile.
That sounds terrifying. Wait, hold on. So when Kale seemed to be acting a little clumsy earlier, it was because...
Correct. That would be the effects of Elazar, which is precisely why I do not want her carrying or holding anything, lest she ends up hurting herself. With appropriate treatment, the disease can be effectively controlled before it progresses to a more serious stage. However, there is unfortunately still no true cure for Elazar. Nevertheless, Kale's mother still hoped that there was something out there. She handed Kale over to an organization known as the Fatui after one of their members lied and said they had a cure.
What? The Fatui?
It appears you already are familiar with them. That'll save me some explanation. Anyway, the person who eventually rescued Kale and brought her to me for care said that she had been given to a harbinger known as the Doctor. I have no idea how this doctor managed to do it, but her case of Elazar was completely stable for all the years that Kale was with them. However, Kale's days with the Fatui were anything but pleasant. Kale is a resilient individual and always tries to appear cheerful, but her experience with the Fatui has left deep scars. Even now, she can still feel deathly afraid of someone touching her.
Oh, Paimon had no idea Kale's been through so much suffering.
Oh, by the way, Paimon, Kale wanted me to tell you that she's sorry for scaring you yesterday. She also wanted both of you to know that she's sorry for hiding her illness.
She doesn't need to apologize. None of this is her fault at all.
Well said. I hope you'll get a chance to tell her that in person the next time you see her. Kale once thought that it would be impossible for her to have any real friendships. I trust that you two will never let my trainee experience such emotional pain again.
Don't worry, Tighnari. We'll take good care of her.
Well, it's not too serious at this point. She overexerted herself the last couple of days, which is what led her to break down this time. As long as she has taken her medicine and gets plenty of rest, she should get better. Though I must admit that Kale's condition was much more stable when she first arrived here in Gandharvaville. She was interested in the work of the Forest Rangers the moment she saw us. I could see that she was serious about learning, so I felt compelled to ask her to join us. Her stamina has gotten much worse recently. Though a moderate amount of physical exercise is always necessary, I'm afraid the long-distance patrols are a little too much for her now. Alright, now that I've told you about Kale's past, I think I'll head into the rainforest to find some ingredients needed for her medicine. I'll see you two later.
Yeah, we'd like to do something to help Kale too.
Alright, but I must warn you two. The rainforest is a dangerous place, especially for someone who's still recovering, like the Traveler. You must follow closely and listen to every instruction.
No problemo.
Let's go then. We'll be looking for a plant known as the Nilotpala lotus. It's often used to help those afflicted with Elazar recover their energy.
Hey, Tighnari? Where exactly are we going to find this plant?
Nilotpala lotuses can be found all over the rainforest, but it often grows right here around Gandharvaville.
Given the name, it sounds like we should be looking for it in the water.
You are correct. The Nilotpala lotus grows in the water. When fully matured, they look like giant blue flowers floating on the water's surface. Quite an attractive species, if you ask me. The large petals are actually the plant's leaves and sepals, which surround a very small flower. You should note that many of the plants found in Sumeru have names that are contrary to their species. Take the Cowpelata, for example. The plant is not a lotus at all, but rather a vine. And then there's the Sumeru rose, which is not a rose, and is completely contrary to its name.
Oh, huh. Okay then. Note to Paimon. Never bring up the topic of flowers with Tighnari.
There should be Nilotpala lotuses growing somewhere in this area. Let's split up and begin searching. If you could manage to gather 4 of them, that would be sufficient. We'll rendezvous here once you've gathered the needed amount.
Hey, Tighnari! We found the lotuses you requested.
Let me have a look. Good. Very good. These are all excellent quality. I'm glad you two came along. Your exploration experience helped save me a lot of time here. It seems we even have enough time to stock up on other things I need.
Hey, Tighnari!
Oh, Tighnari! Someone's calling your name. They're dressed like a forest ranger.
Ah, yes, that's Amir and the others. But didn't they just set off not too long ago? What are they doing back so early? Let's go find out what's going on.
Tighnari, thank goodness we found you here. We were just about to head back and find you at Gandharvaville.
What's going on?
We just discovered a withering zone.
The withering is back? But the patrol route you were on should have been already cleared just a week ago. It reappeared so quickly. Can you tell me the exact location?
It's up ahead, deep in the river valley. It's appeared in a spot that blocks nearly the entire narrow part of the valley area, so we decided to come find you as quickly as possible.
And the radius of the contamination?
Sorry, I couldn't get a clear enough view to tell.
No one in our patrol team had a vision, and it appeared to still be spreading. So we didn't risk getting any closer.
Okay, I understand. You made the right decision. I'll go deal with it right away. In the meantime, please guide these two back to Gandharvaville.
Wait, Tighnari, why don't you let us help you?
You two have only just arrived in Sumeru. You're still unfamiliar with many things in these lands. There's a unique type of anomaly that occurs in the Sumeru rainforest. It's called the withering. The affected areas not only cause nearby vegetation to wither, but it's also lethal to wildlife and even people. If you don't carry a vision, then you should think twice before approaching such places.
Yes, Amir is absolutely right. I wasn't kidding when I said the rainforest is a dangerous place. As Amir said, only someone with a vision, that is, the power to manipulate elements, will be able to resist the withering's corrosive effects for a time.
That's right. If any of the forest rangers without a vision come across a withering zone, we first make a record of the location and then have a ranger with the proper abilities deal with it, like Tighnari here. Only someone with a vision can venture within a withering zone and find a way to deal with it. But you don't seem to carry a vision.
Don't worry, he may not have a vision, but he's a real pro at using the power of the elements. Don't sweat it. We've helped others deal with similar situations before.
Wait, you've met other forest rangers before? I was planning to properly show you both how to identify the withering before you left Gandharvaville. Anyway, since you two are experienced adventurers, come with me. I'm sure you'll both be able to help.
Hey, look! That gloomy area over there looks like a withering zone. Even though Paimon's seen one before, it's still kinda scary.
All right, Traveler. We're about to enter the withering zone. Since you already have experience dealing with these things, you should already know what to do. But please remember, don't push yourself. If at any point it becomes too much, return outside the zone and take a breather. It could become a matter of life and death. You ready then? Let's go. First, we must locate any branches sustaining the withering zone. Great work. Now that all the branches have been cleared, we'll need to take care of the tumor. Now! Destroy the tumor of the withering!
We did it! Everything's returning to normal now!
Yes. Thanks to you two, we were able to quickly restore this area back to normal.
Tighnari? You make it sound like we did well, but why does Paimon have the feeling you're worried about something?
It's that obvious, huh? Alright. It's like this. Recently, the rate at which withering zones appear has been increasing. Even though we were able to quickly clear that withering zone, it won't be long before another one appears. If that simply meant more work for me, then that wouldn't be an issue. But it's far more severe than that. The withering is leaving lasting effects on the rainforest itself. For instance, even though we cleared out the withering zone, many of the plants that were affected will not recover. This presents a crisis for the ecosystem itself. Many plants in the rainforest are already in decline, directly impacting the wildlife that depends on those plants. And most disturbingly, as the appearances of withering zones have started to increase, Kale's case of Elazar has also become more serious.
Huh? But why's that?
I'm still not sure of the exact reason. However, I've received word from acquaintances at the academia that similar cases are being reported for patients with other conditions. No, none that we know of. The withering has been recorded in Sumeru for millennia. It's said that it originates from the depths of the world. Oh, by the way, have you heard of Irminsul before? Irminsul is a tree located deep beneath the surface. Although it isn't like any tree we know in a biological sense, you can basically think of it as a large tree that grows downwards rather than upwards. I'm sure you've heard of ley lines, right? They're like the roots of Irminsul, spreading and extending from a massive cavern deep underground all the way up to the surface. Ley lines continually absorb the memories of this world, which are then funneled into Irminsul, allowing it to collect knowledge and wisdom from ancient times to present day. The Dendro Archon is known as the god of wisdom because her consciousness is directly connected to it. It is also said that the Dendro Archon's power is a manifestation of Irminsul. And as for the withering, its emergence is related to a disease that's affecting it. That's right. My ancestors learned of this from Greater Lord Rukkhadevada's familiars a long time ago, but even those mysterious creatures did not know of a cure for Irminsul. I'm afraid we Rangers will be battling the withering zones here for a long time, until a cure is found. Alright, that's enough on this topic for the time being. Now that we've taken care of things here, it's time for us to head back to Gandharvaville.
Oh, Tighnari, you all made it back. How did it go?
The withering zone you reported has been taken care of. No need to worry. Huh? Wait, is that? Oh no, Haypasia!
Huh? What's wrong, Tighnari?
This Duskbird is Haypasia's designated courier for urgent news. You do remember her, don't you? She's the scholar you and Paimon were following when you first arrived in Sumeru.
Oh, her? How could we forget? So did something happen?
Let me see what's written in the letter first.
So what's it say? And what's with that weird expression on your face? Just let Paimon read it. Huh? All Paimon sees are 3 squiggly lines.
Yes, allow me to explain. After we brought you from Haypasia's cave to Gandharvaville, Haypasia resumed her meditation. She must have just finished. It's been nearly 3 days since she's had anything to eat, and it appears she's forgotten to prepare some rations. This letter is her asking us for help. We need to go.
What? You mean she's been sitting there for 3 days? Hey, wait, how did you know all that from just a few lines on the paper?
Well, obviously because this has happened before. Last time she drew 5 lines, and by the time we found her... Well, I'd prefer not to remember that. Needless to say, Haypasia's been through worse, but we should still get to her as quickly as possible. I've got some emergency rations set aside for times like these. Paimon, Traveler, could you two bring these to her?
Wait, you want us to bring her the rations? But will the Traveler be okay if her cave is still filled with that funny incense?
Let's find out. Here, Traveler, take a smell and see. So, how do you feel?
Huh? Really? You're not feeling even a little drowsy? But wait, how'd you know that he'd be okay this time, Tighnari?
Back when we were clearing the Withering Zone, I observed that he could adeptly manipulate the Dendro element. I knew then that he would be fine. And if I may ask, when I was telling you two about Irminsul's ley lines, was what I described similar at all to what you saw when you were unconscious? That's correct. Those weren't hallucinations at all, though I don't intend to apologize for deceiving you. Because what you saw is of significant importance. Not just for the nation of Sumeru, but the entire world of Teyvat. My forefathers were shown much favor by Greater Lord Rukkhadevada. We took an oath to protect this nation together with her. Now that that duty has fallen to me, it was a part of my responsibilities to ascertain whether you could be entrusted with the fate of Sumeru. Now, after seeing you in action with my own eyes, you have earned my confidence, and I no longer feel the need to hide any secrets from you. When you passed out, your consciousness had connected directly with Irminsul. What you witnessed were actually real memories contained within Irminsul itself. I could try to tell you more, but it would be better if you went to ask Haypasia instead. Her focus on meditation and use of Spirit Borneal are aimed at establishing a connection with Irminsul, just as you did.
That sounds nice and all, but will she really help us? Seriously, she completely ignored us the last time we tried talking to her.
That was because when you ran into her, she was in a special phase of her training. During that time, she must avoid communicating with others. Please, wait here for a moment. Here, take these. It's a meal I packed for Haypasia, as well as some other ingredients. I'm sure it'll come in handy. Also, here's a letter that I would like you to give to her. Just show it to her, and she'll answer any questions you may have. No, I should be the one thanking you. You've both been a great help these last few days. Anyway, please take good care of Haypasia. I'll go prepare Kale's medicine now. Using the Nilot Palo lotuses while they are still fresh will significantly boost their effectiveness. Rest assured, Kale will recover quickly as long as she has her medicine.
Think about it, Tighnari. Refusing to join is tantamount to burying your head in the sand. I understand that you're a forest watcher and that it's your duty to combat the effects of withering zones. But isn't it evident that such work is not a lasting solution to the problem? As Sage Kage clearly stated, your presence and guidance in Sumeru City is pivotal in finding a cure for Irminsul. How could you possibly refuse?
Keep your emotions in check, Ghulam. Let's at least listen to Tighnari's reason for declining. We're here to invite him to the Academia, not to cause a scene.
Sage Kage, I am truly honored that you came here in person, but I'm afraid I must still decline your invitation. I am merely a forest watcher. How could the great minds of the Haravatat have any need of someone like me?
Well, it turns out that your refusal letter had some implications on your master's reputation. He is a renowned sage of the Immorta, after all. So now I've come here in his stead.
I see. Well, I figured that given his temper, he would come here and berate me personally.
Tighnari, your master is an integral part of this effort, and now he requires your assistance.
And what exactly does my master need of me, Sage Kage?
You'll know once you've arrived in Sumeru City, that is.
And, how long will I be required to stay?
There's no definite answer as of now.
Do you mean to tell me that despite coming all the way here to Gandharvaville, you still can't answer the questions I laid out in the letter to my master? If that's the case, then I'm afraid I cannot give you a definite answer either.
Tighnari, but you...
So be it. Come, Ghulam, we're leaving.
Tighnari, what was that all about?
It's nothing. Some people from the Academia wanted me to go to Sumeru City to assist them with a project, but I had to refuse on account of all my responsibilities here. But all that can wait. How did things go with Haypasia?
It was quite the eventful trip, but the main thing is that she's safe and sound. She answered a bunch of questions for us, too.
Very good. Now that the Traveler has made a full recovery, there shouldn't be any reason for you to tarry here longer. I assume you will be heading to Sumeru City, correct?
That's right. We want to meet Lesser Lord Kusanali and ask her for advice. Do you have any idea on how we can find her?
Sorry, I'm afraid I don't have any advice for you there.
Well, do you at least know anyone we can try asking in Sumeru City?
Let me think. My trips to Sumeru City have been fairly short, and most of my acquaintances are researchers. Oh, how about this? I'll write you a letter of introduction that you can give to a researcher I know. He's from the Immorta Darshan and is adept at gathering information. Asking him might prove worthwhile. Also, when you enter Sumeru City, you'll probably end up receiving something like this item here. I'm not sure if it will ever come in handy for you, but maybe you can give it a try.
Oh? What is it?
It's called an Akasha Terminal. It's a tool produced by the Academia that utilizes the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Some say that this item is the very basis of Sumeru's reputation as the City of Wisdom. Needless to say, this device and its usage fall under the Academia's expertise, so I'll leave it to them to show you how to use it.
Great! Next up, Sumeru City! But Wait, before that. That's right. Tighnari, we have something important to say to Kale before we leave. Is she doing better now?
Yes, she's doing much better. After being confined to her bed all this time, I thought a little walk would do her some good. Last I saw her, she was taking the path towards the North Crossing. She knew you two would be leaving soon, so she must have wanted to see you off.
Thanks, Tighnari. All right, let's go.
Farewell, and good luck to you both. Kale is waiting at the northmost crossing of Gandharvaville. You should be able to find her there. Don't you worry about Kale. I'll look after her. I'll find a way to understand the relationship between the Withering and her disease. It seems there's a major project underway at the Academia, and my master has also joined the effort. But I can't afford to leave Gandharvaville now. Things are not going well here in the rainforest, and Kale needs someone to watch over her. Besides, I never was one for all the pomp and circumstance of life at the Academia. Given that my master hasn't come to give me an earful personally, it seems that my presence is not as sorely needed as they make it out to be. In fact, the letter he sent me was uncharacteristically polite. Farewell, traveler.
Okay, we finally lost him. Are you okay, Nahida? Wait, no. Something feels different. You're back!
Oh, the traveler's back?
Nahida was controlling your body for a while. It seemed like she jumped over to you as an emergency measure right before the Catherine puppet was destroyed. After that, Tighnari heard the commotion and came over. He helped us defeat the mercenaries and then he ran with us all the way here. What? You swapped places? You mean your consciousness also went into Nahida's body? Wait, then where is Nahida's consciousness? Where is she now?
I never imagined that an individual's consciousness could be transferred around like this. Had I not seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it. I don't think this can be achieved with current human technology. Also, while we were running, the consciousness in your body told me to pass on a message. She said, "The doctor has found a way to trap my consciousness, so I can't journey with you anymore. But even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies."
Oh no! Nahida's trapped in the sanctuary of Sumeru for good this time. Was that message all she left for us? It's pretty vague. Oh, that makes sense. Since the doctor captured her, she won't be able to say anything without him knowing. She's being extra careful. Even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies. Huh. Paimon knows the moon illusions and lies are from the alchemical divination at the Sumeru's festival. Didn't Nahida use a starlight analogy before? It had something to do with Sataria. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Huh. Do you think Nahida was telling us to go find help in the desert? But she isn't with us anymore. Think we'll be okay?
Paimon, you said Sanctuary of Sumeru, correct? Does this mean that this Nahida you're talking about, the consciousness who was occupying the traveler's body, is the Dendro Archon?
Your guess is correct, but the situation's a bit complicated, so it's really hard for us to explain right now.
That's all right. A scholar's curiosity doesn't need to be appeased right away. As for the complicated nature of the situation, safe to say I have witnessed that for myself. I've spent some time with you, and it looks like the Dendro Archon's also on your side. So, I trust you.
Thank you, Tighnari. Oh, actually, we came here to ask you a question. What do you know about the project that the sages have been working on?
That. While I was indeed invited to join that project, the sages were always secretive about its scope and goals, so I eventually declined. All I know is that the project has something to do with the restoration of Irminsul.
Huh? Did you see something when you were in Nahida's body? What?
Do you have any evidence? So that's what happened. That explains why Haypasia's symptoms were different from those of the other scholars who went mad. It's because she made contact with the consciousness of a new god who is still in the process of being born.
Tighnari, did you leave the Avidia Forest because of Haypasia?
I did. I noticed Haypasia's mental anomalies, but since her symptoms were rather atypical, I secretly took her to Pardis Di and began searching for a way to return her to her normal self. If I didn't take action, Haypasia would have already been taken by the Matra to the desert, doomed to a life of exile at Aru village. Now that you mention it, I knew the Academia has never thought particularly highly of Lesser Lord Kusanali, but I still didn't expect them to do something as arrogant as creating a new god. Looks like I made the right decision by not accepting their invitation. The Doctor and the Balladeer. We have 2 Fatui Harbingers in Sumeru. Sounds like we're in for a bad time. From your description, I don't think they've completed their project. There may still be room for us to intervene. But then, what is the connection between creating a new god and restoring Irminsul?
Yeah, it feels like we're still nowhere close to figuring out the Sage's goals. Right, we've pretty much gone over everything we need to know, so we should head out. How about you, Tighnari? What are you going to do?
I'll stay here for now. I still want to try a few more things to help Haypasia. If you're planning to go into the desert, start by heading for Caravan Ribat. That'll be your fastest route. Come find me here if there's anything else I can do to help. May the spirit of wisdom go with you.
Thanks, Tighnari. Hopefully Haypasia will feel better soon. We're off then. Tighnari!
Ah, Traveler, Paimon. And you are?
Hey there.
This is our friend Dia. She's an Aramite mercenary.
A mercenary? You must have some big news for me.
It's something really important. Please help us out.
All right then, follow me. This place is better. We won't be disturbed by any passerby. Okay. What is this important thing you want to ask me? The Doctor.
He's that strange-looking Fatui Harbinger with the mask. Paimon thinks he has blue hair.
Yes, I know him. Actually, he left Pardis Di just a little while ago.
He left already?
Yeah. He came looking for me.
Can I ask what it was about? Sorry to ask you like this after having just met, but your answer is very important to us. For now, all we can share with you is that your friend Sino is working with us.
Sino, you say? I see. So that's why he hasn't been at the Academia. Okay. I'll answer your questions and will assist you any way I can. You don't have to tell me everything that's happened.
Sino's name really does work wonders. You're not even a little worried that we might have made it all up?
Despite having just met you, I can sense that you're the serious type. Between you, the Traveler, and Sino, none of you strike me as the type that would conspire to deceive me. You don't need to tell me anything you don't want to. I'll also get straight to the point. The Harbinger you mentioned came to me because he wanted to take the scholar Haypasia away with him.
Haypasia? Why would he want her?
And what do you mean by take away? Is he planning to leave Sumeru?
Yes. He told me his return to Snezhnaya is imminent. So you mean you're leaving this place soon?
Indeed. Otherwise, we could have perhaps talked a little more. I was just about to set out when I remembered something important. To that end, I made a final trip to Pardis Di. Let me ask, have you been taking care of a scholar by the name of Haypasia?
Your sources are accurate. No doubt because you've recruited many informants. But you're right. Hypasia has indeed been receiving treatment from me.
Forgive me for asking, but how's the treatment coming along?
Given the way you're asking, I assume you have something to say.
Since you asked, I'll be frank. I would like to take Haypasia to Tighnari.
It's incredibly difficult to transfer a patient. As a scholar yourself, shouldn't you at least be aware of this?
Oh? I can't believe your utter lack of faith in me, to the point of even questioning my general level of knowledge. How unbefitting.
Well, you're the only one who's ever made such a request.
I have my ways of keeping her safe during the journey. In addition, I can also promise that under my care, Haypasia will receive the most advanced and effective treatment. I will personally supervise her treatment and see to her recovery. Would that be agreeable to you?
Haypasia was born in Sumeru and remains a scholar of the academia. Her situation has not become dire enough to necessitate her transfer to another nation. Transporting her to Tighnari is risky, and the potential benefits are unknown. As the person currently responsible for her treatment, I cannot possibly sign off on this transfer. Your suggestion is rude and reckless. I'll pass. I don't know much about the doctor, but after talking with him, I realized that just like many other scholars, he possesses an aura of arrogance that I've come to detest. It's not so much that he's looking down on others, but more that he's confident in himself and his abilities to a point of near insanity. I would never refer a patient to someone like him. I prepared myself for a protracted battle of wits, and was really surprised to see him just give up on the topic. Still, his reaction really concerned me.
I see, I see. Of course, your opinion makes perfect sense. You're still young, but already quite stubborn. I must say, you are not like what I had expected. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't just let you off the hook like this. But unfortunately, I'm in a hurry today, what with Her Most Noble Majesty the Tsaritsa calling for our return. Luckily, there is still some time left for me to take care of everything before I leave. It's just as the Academia said. You're a responsible and gifted scholar. Sadly, even with all of that, you're still lacking a bit of shrewdness. And that's also why people like you can never realize that sooner or later, everyone must pay the price for what they've learned.
Paimon can't help but feel like he's hinting at something unpleasant.
He asked a question, yet didn't care for my answer. Perhaps I'm nothing but a talking rock in his eyes. He never came off as malicious, but an utter lack of compassion permeated throughout our conversation. From his tone, I can sense that he's always looked down on others.
I can barely believe it myself. But if that's true, the situation will be in our favor.
I don't think I missed any details. Frankly speaking, I don't want you to do anything too risky. Now that you know a little more, it should be easier for you to stay safe.
Sorry we can't tell you everything. We appreciate that you helped us anyway. I won't forget your kindness.
It's okay. I have an obligation to do so. To be perfectly honest, all of this may have started because of me. Recently, my master wrote several letters to me, asking me to return to the Academia and assist him with his research.
Hasn't he already asked you several times before?
Yes, but there's something off about this most recent batch of letters. The handwriting and the tone are both familiar, but some details have been omitted. My master will occasionally leave a few dots on the back of the letter. 1 dot means that he wrote the letter on a sunny day, and 3 dots stand for a rainy day. This has been a habit of his for many years. But I didn't find any dots in his recent letters. I believe something may have happened to him.
I get it. Since you are always at Gandharvaville, you would like me, someone already working at the Academia, to investigate this matter, right?
I'd like to ask you to do that for me, if you can keep yourself safe. Please withdraw immediately at the first hint of danger.
I can do that, but I have a feeling it won't be that simple. The Academia has been working on a big project. I'm not quite sure what it is, but your master might be involved with it. If the higher-ups really are hiding something, then it will be difficult to remove myself from the situation once the investigation starts. If the situation becomes critical, I'll leave the Academia. If you don't see me there for an extended period, that's your cue.
All right, we've got a plan. I'll stay at Gandharvaville to support you.
If that scenario comes to pass, you must be extra vigilant. And be wary of any messages or direct requests from the Academia.
I must say, I didn't expect a warning like this from the General Mahamatra.
Being loyal to the Academia doesn't mean blindly doing whatever the sages say. I know what I'm doing. On that note, aren't you also being quite distrustful of your alma mater?
The Academia, yes. But my master is a man of integrity. Even when I was a student, I was worried that he'd get in trouble for sticking to his beliefs. I suppose he's lucky to have lasted so long, but in the end, it's still caught up to him.
I see. So you noticed something was up with the Academia from the very beginning.
This may well be how Sino became involved in all of this. In which case, I must keep my promise and help you however I can. Also, if you run into Sino again, please help me pass on a message to him. Trust your own senses and experiences. I think this may be something he needs to hear right now.
Okay, we'll find a chance to tell him.
Thanks.
Right. Now let's go hunt down this Harbinger. Oh, by the way, which way did the doctor go when he left Pardis-Di?
That way.
Gotcha. Thanks so much. We'll be on our way.
Sooner or later, everyone must pay the price for what they've learned. What an arrogant statement. Oh, don't mind me. I was just thinking about his words. Be sure to take extra care of yourselves. Pardis-Di is not a place you Fatui can just show up and do as you please.
I believe we've already made ourselves quite clear. Our superior gave us permission to search for and collect medicinal herbs in Pardis-Di for research purposes.
But you've been in Sumeru for some time already. I find it coincidental that you chose to only come here today.
Even the Grand Sage himself may not have the right to question our research, much less an ordinary scholar like yourself. I've done my duty to inform you. Don't make things difficult for yourself.
It would seem that my words have fallen on deaf ears. You can keep trying to deny it, but coming to Pardis-Di now, I'm pretty sure you're not just looking for herbs.
With all due respect, your baseless speculations will only lead to unnecessary trouble.
Well, you only have your Harbinger to blame. He knows nothing about keeping a low profile. I may be staying at Pardis-Di as a scholar, but that doesn't mean I'm no longer a forest watcher. It is still my duty to protect the peace and safety of the scholars who have contributed so much to Sumeru.
Then it seems our conversation has hit an impasse.
No one will lay a hand on you, Haypasia. Not on my watch.
Tighnari! Are you alright?
I'm fine.
These Fatui have really crossed the line. Time to teach them a lesson.
There's no use resisting! Give us Haypasia!
Keep dreaming.
Yeah, Tighnari! Beat him up!
We're not getting anywhere. Traveler, Paimon, please go to Haypasia. We need to make sure they don't try to sneak around and attack from behind.
Got it! Oh! Have the Fatui retreated? Hey! What happened to you?
He's hurt.
I'm fine. Ow!
Don't move. I've seen eremites get struck by lightning before. You need to rest.
Struck by lightning?
We were fighting, and just as things started looking grim, the weather suddenly became extremely strange. Lightning started attacking everyone, almost as if it were alive. Luckily, there were only 2 of us, and both of us were nimble enough to dodge most of the strikes. There were a lot of Fatui, though, and they were being torn to shreds by the bolts of lightning.
With that, all the Fatui soldiers were forced to retreat. It's all right. My wound aside, you look like you've seen something unpleasant. Is Haypasia all right? Ugh!
Hey, didn't I tell you not to move?
Just in case, let's go to Haypasia's place and talk about things there. Thank goodness she's fine.
Hey, how about taking care of yourself first?
I understand my condition. The wound is not fatal. I'll be all right.
Ugh. The more you understand medicine, the worse of a patient you become.
I know. They always think they can push through the pain.
Oh, he sat down.
Let me rest for a bit. Sorry, traveler. Now you may start.
So that's what you were talking to the balladeer about? Oh, Paimon can't believe what he's thinking.
The Academia's God creation plan. How ridiculous.
That sounds, ambitious, I guess? Anyway, this is all way beyond me. As long as I can enjoy every day with a drink in my hand, tasty food in my stomach, and a good night's rest, that's enough. I'll only work when I have to. I must be the least ambitious person who's ever set foot in Party's DI.
Don't say that. I haven't even thanked you for your help back there.
Don't mention it. Well, if nothing else, all this proves that the doctor really did have some urgent matter to attend to, and left Sumeru in a hurry. Maybe the Fatui want to cover up some secret of the balladeer. Is that why they tried to seize Haypasia?
You said the balladeer claimed that Haypasia has seen his past. So, what could be there?
Have you noticed? The balladeer is not happy with the doctor's actions. He thinks the doctor has no right to consider himself as his equal.
So, if the doctor was to show up again, would the balladeer zap him with lightning?
Based on what the traveler has said, I think he would. Having the doctor gone benefits him as well as us. In other words, we've successfully completed this stage of the plan. The doctor is out of the picture now.
Yay! That's a big accomplishment!
I'm also happy for you.
Thank you for the help, Tighnari. Make sure you rest up for now.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, that wraps things up for us here at Party's DI. Traveler, it's about time we rendezvous with the others at the Grand Bazaar. Let's continue to keep a low profile. You can head there once you're ready.
You can just focus on your plan. Leave Haypasia to me. My wound is not going to get in the way. Okay. Guess I'll sit still for a little while longer.
Tighnari!
Ah, good morning. How do you feel today?
We feel much better. How about you?
I'm recovering well, thanks for asking.
But from the looks of it, you seem to be already busy with work again.
It's fine. I'm not that busy, really. The Elazar patients have recovered, as well as Haypasia. For now, I only need to tend to my Forest Watcher duties.
It seems once Irminsul started getting better, everything else started to recover too.
Yes, but there are still some residual effects. The withering is one example. Though it won't spread anymore, the existing zones won't just disappear. We forest rangers will still need to do the work.
By the way, we have some good news. Sino got his position back.
This news is hardly new. He had already mentioned it to me before.
Huh? You mean he was already here? Why didn't he come to say hi to us?
He visited once, but he was afraid of disturbing you while you were resting. He just asked me a few questions and left.
Then you probably already know all about the celebration feast.
Celebration feast? No, I Haven't heard anything about that.
Huh? But didn't Nilo say in her letter that they would celebrate Sino? He didn't tell you?
Perhaps. Or, alternatively, he doesn't know about it either.
Come to think of it, Sino doesn't seem like the type who'd enjoy a celebration feast. You and Kale are both Sino's close friends. Why don't you come to the feast with us?
Kale has taken over some of my tasks these days. I don't think she'll have time for it. Not to mention me. You see, some VIPs have come to the forest recently.
Huh? VIPs? Very important Paimons?
Well, technically speaking, they are former VIPs. The sages involved in recent incidents have begun their training in the Avidia Forest, and the people they had previously imprisoned have all been released.
Huh?
Yes, he's a little weak, but he isn't injured and his condition is stable. Lesser Lord Kusanali, in her boundless mercy, has decided to spare Azar and the other wrongdoers. Supposedly, they were ashamed of their shallow ideologies, and have decided to dedicate the rest of their lives to cultivating wisdom in the Avidia Forest. When they learned that Lesser Lord Kusanali had defeated the Balladeer and saved Irminsul, they were shocked at first, but also became happy, feeling that the sacred light guiding them on the path of discovering wisdom had begun to shine once again. As a result, work has increased for the Forest Rangers.
That sounds really exhausting.
There is nothing we can do, really. But that's another topic. Back to the matter at hand. Are you two planning to head out?
Ah, right! We're here to request permission to head out. Would that be okay?
You've recovered well. You may go. But be careful.
Yay! Will do!
Is there anything else you'd like to ask about? Ah, yes. Thank you for remembering her. She continued her training in the forest after she recovered. As a scholar, she never slacks off. A lot has happened lately. Kale and I have been busy, but don't worry. We'll take care of ourselves. As for Sino's reinstatement, the more I think about it, the more I suspect that he just doesn't have a single clue about this feast. But this does remind me that Kale and I should find an opportunity to celebrate him as well. He has helped me a lot during this time. And you as well. Thank you. Take care. Please, find me if you need anything.